What's going on, Algebros? In this video, I'm going to take you through an example where we kind of piece both creating a scatter diagram and finding a line of best fit together, as well as playing around with the line of best fit, or in other words, the regression equation. So here I have a table oriented horizontally. On the first row, it gives us bill values in terms of dollars. So $33.46 is what this value represents. Um, and then in row 2, it gives us tips in dollar amounts. So, for a dinner bill costing $33.46, the tip that was provided for that is $5.50. And then if we look at the second column, this is a different dinner cost value, $50.68, and somebody decided to tip $5 on that bill, and the rest sort of follows suit from there. So in example part A, it says, draw a scatter diagram of the data, treating bills as the independent variable. All right, so all of these values in row 1 are going to go into the L1 column, and then that means all the values in row 2, or the tip amounts, will go in the L2 column. So I have my graphing calculator ready to help us with this. I'm going to go ahead and press Stat and Enter. And in each of the columns L1 and L2, I have data from a previous problem in there. Let me show you how to quickly get rid of this data. What you can do is scroll up and highlight the column name, in this case L1, and then you can press the clear button and then enter, and it gets rid of all the values that are in L1. You do not want to press the delete key when you have L1 or L2 highlighted, because that actually gets rid of the entire column. We just want to get rid of the data. So I'm going to arrow over to the right and highlight the L2 column heading there, and I'm going to press clear and enter, and voila, all those data values are gone as well. Okay, so I'm going back to L1, and we're just going to type in all these values in individually. So 33.46, 50.68, so on and so forth. Alright, going to arrow over to L2, and in this column, I'm going to type in all of the tip amounts. So 5.50, 5, 8.08, 17, 12, and 16. Alright, just going to take a quick glance back at the data that's entered into both L1 and L2, just to make sure that everything was typed in correctly and all the bill values line up with the tip values. Alright, looks like everything's all good with that. So what I'm going to do next is go to the y equals menu, and I just want to verify that plot 1 is still highlighted in black. So what that means is our calculator is still programmed to plot this information in the format of a scatter diagram. And I'm also going to make sure that there are no equations typed into y1 or y2, so it looks like we're good on that front. But what I'll do next is hit the zoom key and scroll down to option 9. And remember, what this zoom setting does is it fits all the data points in the same viewing window, so we're not missing anything. So go ahead and press enter. And there we have the scatter diagram associated with this table of values. Alright, so you'll just go ahead and sketch out the scatter diagram as best as you can in part A. Do keep in mind that the x-axis is serving as the different bill amounts, so maybe you might want to label that as capital B for bills. And then the y-axis, the y values are serving as different tip amounts, so maybe go ahead and label the y-axis using capital T. And then just do your best to draw these out in their respective locations based on what your graphing calculator is displaying for you. I'd like to also take care of part B in this video, where it says using a graphing utility, find the line of best fit. And keep in mind there are rounding instructions provided. You want to round to 4 decimal places. So now that we have the data plotted as a scatter diagram, but more importantly entered into the graphing calculator, let's hit the stat key. We're going to arrow over to the calculate column, and we're going to scroll down to option 4. So we'll go ahead and press enter. Your X list should say L1, your Y list should say L2, and the next 2 rows should be blank. We're going to scroll down to calculate and press enter. And here's the information that the graphing calculator provides for us. So again, it's assuming that we're writing our final answer in the format y equals ax plus b. I'm sorry, mx plus b is what that should say. Oh, it shouldn't say it, but we can correlate this to y equals mx plus b. And it provides us the value of the slope. So remember, to 4 decimal places is how we want to be rounding. So the slope is roughly 0.1486, whereas the y-intercept is roughly negative 0.3473. It also provides us the value of r in the very bottom row. It's roughly 0.8282 to 4 decimal places. And you'll notice that this isn't as close to the value of positive 1 as the example in the last video, but it's relatively close, and so there's an indication that there might be a linear correlation between the 2 variables, bills and tips. Alright, so for part B, what you're going to do is write out the line of best fit, rounding to 4 decimal places. You could do it in the format of y equals mx plus b. But I would encourage you to maybe go a little bit further and write the equation in terms of the variables b and t. All right, so that's where I'm going to end this video. In the next one, I'll have all this stuff written down in part A and part B, and then we'll go ahead and take care of part C and D using our line of best fit. Alright, as always, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.